I realized that I could have clipped this mic to my shirt this whole time and probably still have yielded the same results. And I'm a little upset that I chose not to do that. I don't know what came over me. Maybe I thought it was more intimate to hold the mic, and it kind of does. I feel like I needed something to do with my hands. But nonetheless, let's get to the task at hand and the very unsettling theory that I have so far for Chainsaw Man. We're here. I'm gonna do it every time. No matter what video I do, no matter what video I upload, this volume is coming out. A volume is coming out, and it's going to be whatever I'm talking about. I mean, not this particular volume, not this particular one, but the series. Bear with me, especially in November when that first Kagurabachi volume come out. I'm gonna be pulling that out a lot. But let's know what we're talking about. Let's get into Chainsaw Man. Y'all know how I feel about this series, but we're in a dire situation. We're in a really bad situation. Yoru, Yoshida, famine, nowhere to be found. Everyone is trying their best to fight Denji, but what we're doing is effectively, I think, the amount of death we're experiencing, we're trying to get humanity to reach immortality, which is no different from what Makima was doing, but they kind of flipped it on its head and took it a different route. But I'm scared, and let me tell you why. Not literally, obviously. I ain't scared of nobody. It's fictional. I can just close the book, walk away, easy. But in reality, they're going to fail. They're going to fail because we have one horseman left, and unless the irony of the story is that Chainsaw Man Denji is the Death Devil, the last four horsemen. I mean, the last horseman, not the last four. The last horseman. All the death that's going on right now is going to meet some quota for death to appear, and that's something that we need to be careful of. Fujimoto does this thing where he paints really lovely stories and parallels and just subtleties, and I really, that's why it's my number one right now. Chainsaw Man could never sit any lower. It just has to be my number one in terms of enjoyment, in terms of story, what I've gravitated, what I've taken from it, the philosophy and all that jazz. He turned nothing into something, quite literally, and I can't take that ability from him. I can't. And that's why it stays where it is. And that's why I'm also concerned for Denji, because of the trauma that Denji has been through and the outrage and the rampage is going to go on. Ultimately, he deserves to go on this rampage. There is no reason why he shouldn't be able to. And anyone says he doesn't have a good reason to is false. And it sucks. It sucks because inevitably he's going to usher in either humanity reaching a form of immortality or the amount of death that's occurring by his hand in the erasure, death will appear themselves. And you never know what that looks like until you read the most recent chapter and you just see what I interpret as the fear in Yoru and Asa's eyes. Well, really, it's Yoru. But the fear that I see and the way that Yoshida gets calamaried up, it's concerning. It's concerning because we haven't seen this type of Denji before in this way. Of course, you had full power, full armor chain Pochita. We've seen that before, but this is different. This is he's he's borderline unstoppable. It's going to usher in a fear of Chainsaw Man at the same time. Because for everyone who thinks he's a hero, they just might think he's a villain for the way that he's just massacring people left and right if they're observing. And that's something to keep in mind, that everything that Chainsaw Man is doing is erasing things, hearing, aging, he's trying to erase. Well, not he's trying to, but the public safety are trying to erase all these things so that humanity can remain not stagnant when it comes to the supernatural around them, so that they may grow, evolve, as I said, achieve immortality in some ways. And that's something that we have to be concerned of, because at what cause and to what extent do they think that this will go correct? It's going to come crashing down. And I, for one, I'm nervous to see what happens, because there's not a lot of pieces there's not a lot of pieces that can navigate this in a positive way for them. Even famine is nowhere to be found. She chose to leave the scene, and I get it. Maybe she's looking around for primordials, And so she's like, I need some help. I need more help than what we have available. And I get that. I completely get it. If it was me, I would have been lickety split. I would have been out of there. There was nothing for me to argue about. I don't have the type of pride. If I saw him there, I would have been like, yeah, no. They would have been like, you're fired. I would have been like, cool, I'm out. I would have walked away, popped the soda can out of the vending machine. I would have been gone. No problem. But Denji's mental health and the space that he's in, the trauma that he's been through since the beginning of the story is something that it's coming to the peak of it. And right now we're left with not many options. Where, like I said, we're left with humans being immortal or it falls short. And now humans are going to be the most afraid because they can't feel, they can't hear. And at some point, how do they birth babies? Actually, now that I think about it, if the aging is taken care of, they can't even create babies because they'll just stay babies for the rest of their life. And I think that that's they should do like some Benjamin Button or like just until they're 18 they grow. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is Chainsaw Man has me concerned. I think you should be concerned too. And I hope that the next coming chapters, as I be more consistent, God willing, I'm able to come back to you guys and we can figure out what's going on in the story. And that's one thing I appreciate about using YouTube as a platform is to be able to talk to each other about the same things that we're reading, the excitement that's shared. So y'all be easy. Take care. TVG signing off.